Good morning, friends. Welcome to Take Two for this Thursday, the 7th of February, 2019. I'm Jeanne, and I'm really glad to be with you this morning. Well, it's a little bit more of a somber note this morning. I want to talk to you a little bit about reminders. Now, yesterday I was out doing some errands, and I was in a public place, and all of a sudden I saw this elderly woman walk in, and she was wearing a hat, an identical hat to the very last hat I ever had an opportunity to buy my mom. Now, when my mother was here about a year ago and she was visiting us shortly before she passed in June, this would have been like last February, and she was with us, we were in the store and she wanted a new hat. So I took her over to where the hats were, and she always wore a hat because her head would get cold and taking all the medications and everything she was. And I found her this really cute little blue hat with a brim on it, and it had a little bit of bling on it. It was a really cute little hat. It was so cute that I wanted one too, so we could wear matching hats. And when we went to go back to buy me one, they were all gone. So we went to another store, and lo and behold, there it was, and we found this hat. So we wore these matching hats for a while. Well, yesterday when I was out in public, I saw this woman wearing this identical hat. And just for a split second, I went, like that. And then, of course, I realized it couldn't possibly be my mother. Not only A, is she now deceased, but B, the woman was African-American. Clearly, that was not my mother wearing that hat. But just for that split second, I had that reminder about that hat. And the whole story flooded back to me about us going and being on a hunt for me getting a matching hat so we could both wear the same hat. You know, things like that are going to happen, boys and girls. When you lose a loved one, all of a sudden, when you least expect it, something like that could just suddenly pop up. You know, obviously, when I'm going through photo albums or going through some of her belongings, some of the little treasures that we got from the house and I boxed up and took back to Alabama with me and go there, obviously it's going to be moments of nostalgia because it's her stuff. But when you're out in public and suddenly you turn around and someone's wearing your mother's hat, that's when it's one of those reminder moments, you know? Well, to add to it, this morning, the first text I got this morning was a text letting us know that someone's father had passed away. Someone who we loved very much, and extended a family, if you will, church family. And we got the news that this man in his 90s had passed away overnight. And, of course, I mean, the man had been sickly, and the man had been, you know, going through some things, and he was in his 90s, and, you know, that's just one of those things that eventually is expected. It's not like it's a shock, like it was a young person or an accident or something. This is someone who, it wasn't a surprise that he passed away, but it was still one of those moments that you get the news that someone you love has passed away. And it just seemed funny that happened right on the heels of me seeing that woman with the hat, because I have to be reminded that these things are going to happen. Occasionally, somebody will be wearing something that reminds me of my mother's clothes. Sometimes I'll hear a song on the radio, and it'll remind me of a song that she liked to listen to. Little things like that, including some stuff that's not so happy. You know, maybe I'll have a memory of something bad that transpired between me and my mother. Maybe watching a TV show, and you see something go on with characters, and you go, that reminds me of an argument I had with my mother, or an issue that was between us that we had a lot of trouble ever resolving. So those things do happen. It's what I'm going to do with these reminders that makes a difference in my life today? Am I going to just wallow? Am I going to feel so sad that I'm overwhelmed and cry all day? Or am I just going to pick myself up and dust myself off and move on? Am I going to be there for the folks who lost their loved one and not let it be a reminder that I lost my mother too and I lost my father too? Well, certainly not. I am going to be there in a positive way for them. You know, many years ago, when my dad died, 17 years ago now it is, when he passed away, I was working at the Wiregrass Area Food Bank. I remember sitting at my desk one day. Now, he died in March. This would have been like the summertime. I was sitting at my desk working on my computer, and one of the volunteers, who was an elderly gentleman, walked into the lobby, which was, you know, on the other side of my door, so I couldn't see it. But I heard him talking, and he actually was a retired military man from New York. So he had that New York accent. And just for a nanosecond, I heard him talking, and I jumped up out of my chair, ran to the lobby, and yelled, "Daddy!" Because I thought for just a split second my dad was there, which of course was impossible. He'd been deceased a few months, and of course, what would he be doing in Alabama? But it was just that split second. My co-workers kind of gave me a look like, what is that all about? But they extended that grace to me because they understood that it was still a little on the fresh side. And those things do happen from time to time. So I just want to encourage you, boys and girls, if you have those moments where suddenly a reminder hits you about something, suddenly you read something in the paper or watch something on TV, or you're out in public and you see somebody wearing your mother's hat, that's okay for you to go ahead and shed a tear and for you to have one of those moments, just you by yourself. It's okay. What you continue doing with it is going to be your choice. And I'm choosing today to take that moment to just be grateful for that fun opportunity I had to go buy and wear matching hats with my mother. And I'm just going to leave it at that for now. And it's okay if I shed a little tear about it today. Okay? Hey, go be a blessing to somebody today. You might end up being the only one who is. And remember, if you have somebody who is maybe grieving right now over a loved one, go be that arm around the shoulder. Go be an encouragement. Don't let it just remind you of your losses. You be there for them the way I hope I can be there for my friends who lost their loved one yesterday. And don't forget to subscribe to my YouTube channel, Jeanne Sigler, Jeannesigler. Hit that subscribe button. And of course, don't forget to listen to my radio station. I really appreciate all the listeners. Please click the contact button. Let us know that you're listening and where in the world you're listening from. I'd appreciate it. WRMZ.org. Okay, I love you all very much. I will see you tomorrow for my Unsung Hero of the Week. Love ya. Bye-bye.